Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé latest news. Yesterday, Cortney Reardance shocked both reality TV fans and Instagram users around the world when she leaked photos that showed she was pregnant with her new boyfriend, Usman Umar, who is known to millions of 90 Day Fiancé viewers as Soulja Boy. What started as a quiet upload of private photos quickly became one of the most popular TLC-related stories in recent memory. Fans flocked to comment sections with joy, news outlets rushed to confirm the news, and the reality TV world suddenly became interested in a pair whose relationship had only lately began to get notice. The narrative is still going on, but the leak from yesterday has already made Cortney and Usman one of the most talked-about couples in 90-day history. This is the story of how a love story that fans almost missed has become the most talked-about story in the world, recounted through the pictures, the viral videos, and the many voices that came together to congratulate them. The first picture that showed up on Cortney's Instagram account seemed like the start of a new chapter for her and the whole 90-day franchise. She stood in a room with soft lighting, wearing a cream-colored dress that fell in waves around her. One hand rested gently on the curve of her tummy. Usman stood next to her with a smile on his face that was so real that even his critics couldn't deny how warm it was. In one picture, he held her hand over her stomach. In another, he leaned in and kissed her forehead. It was simply the heart emojis and the words "new beginnings" that made it so easy. The pictures spread like wildfire in only a few minutes, showing up on fan pages, gossip blogs, and entertainment news sites. For years, reality TV viewers watched Cortney and Usman closely, picking apart their love lives, arguing about them, and making fun of them. But this time was different. This time, fans weren't getting ready to fight, they were having fun. There were a lot of congratulations in the comments. People who had been following Cortney since her first days on before the 90 days couldn't believe she had finally found happiness. Some people who had seen Usman go through storm after storm of ugly breakups and public condemnation said they were astonished, but happy to see him really beaming. The fandom came together in an uncommon way. But in order to really grasp how big this moment is, you have to go back to when people first started to talk about Cortney and Usman being more than simply co-stars. At the time, no one believed it. She was the Florida traveler who was recognized for being thoughtful and careful. He was the Nigerian singer who had previously been hurt by claims that he used relationships to get famous. Together? It didn't seem likely. But behind the scenes of TLC's spin-off 90 Day, Hunt for Love, things were starting to heat up. It all began with a meeting taped in Lagos, where Cortney was seen coming to one of Usman's music venues. Fans first thought the video was just another planned TLC moment, but it took on new meaning when an unedited version was published online. In that video, Usman could be seen performing on stage and then going down to talk to the people in the audience. His eyes searched the room, and when they focused on Cortney sitting at a table in the corner, his body language transformed completely. He took her hand, gently brought her to her feet, and moved with her in front of hundreds of admirers who were cheering. The video was only 37 seconds long, but it was enough to get people talking. Discussions broke out on fan forums. Was this real love or a smart way to get attention? TikTok edits filled up timelines, focusing on how Cortney's eyes softened as she stared at him and the closeness that was unspoken. There was a lot of talk on the internet for weeks. Then yesterday came. When those pictures of the pregnancy came out, the guesswork was no longer just that. The story of a casual flirtation disappeared in an instant, leaving behind a far more definite picture. Two people getting ready to be parents together. Reputable news sources quickly confirmed the story. Sources who didn't want to be named told reporters that Cortney was pregnant and that she and Usman were very happy about it. One insider even said that the pair had kept their secret for months, waiting until they were ready to tell everyone. Fans, on the other hand, were overjoyed. Messages came in from all around the world, congratulating them not only on the pregnancy, but also on proving the critics wrong. From messy drama to this, what a journey, one person said. Another person said it was the biggest plot twist of 2025. Even people who used to be on TLC's cast spoke nice things about it. The good vibes were really strong. Reality TV has always been about drama, including messy breakups and betrayals, but Cortney and Usman's story was different. This love tale was not based on scandal, but on kindness. In the past, Cortney was shown to be unsure and indecisive, yet in her images she looked calm and grounded. People often say that Usman is too ambitious, but he looked proud and protective. They all showed a change that even the most skeptical people couldn't dispute. Of course, people are now asking what will happen next. Will TLC include this pregnancy surprise in future episodes of Hunt for Love? Will the network change course and make a spin-off about their path into parenthood? People who work on the show said that producers are already in a panic behind the scenes. This story has really captivated the audience's imagination like few others have. But the heart of the story is not in the production schedules or network decisions. It's in how it makes you feel. Fans have seen these two go through years of grief, doubt, and public scrutiny. Seeing them today happy together and getting ready for a kid is like witnessing a long arc finally curve toward hope. The story is still being told. The leak from yesterday was not the end. It was the start of a new act. Fans are still excited to see what happens next as the couple continues to deal with the spotlight. There may be deals for baby showers. Usman might make a song for their unborn child. Maybe Cortney will provide honest looks at her pregnancy journey across other countries. No matter what happens, the world will be watching. For now, the only things that stay with me are those pictures. The soft grin on Cortney's lips, Usman's palm on her tummy, and the happiness that goes beyond reality TV. This moment is different from the rest of the industry because it is so personal. It reminds us that love may surprise us all, no matter how unlikely it seems. And it did just that yesterday. The images of Cortney Reardans and Usman Umar that leaked showed them pregnant and didn't only go viral for a few hours. They started something that is still being talked about in fan forums, entertainment newsrooms, and the larger reality TV world. The narrative, which started with a few private Instagram photographs, has suddenly become a huge event, an ongoing saga that feels bigger than anything else in the 90-day Fiancé realm in years. It's not just the pregnancy that makes this news so interesting. It's everything that has happened since then. The fan speculation, the sudden support for Cortney and Usman, the frantic efforts of TLC producers to take advantage of the situation, and the growing realization that their story has gone from a subplot to a cultural headline. This is the next part of that story, the next act in a love story that has caught the interest of millions. In the hours after the first disclosure, social media was full with different theories. Some fans thought that TLC had planned the surprise very meticulously as a way to promote the show. Some people said that Cortney's simple description implied otherwise, that she had posted on her own terms and didn't care what the network may say about it. On Reddit, several topics had hundreds of comments. One person said they had seen signs weeks before. Cortney's apparent preference for loose clothes in informal images, her avoidance of wine glasses in group shots, and her decision to stay mostly offline during a time when most cast members were vigorously marketing the new season. One fan boldly stated, "She was glowing in a way that only pregnant women do," and included side-by-side images from earlier in the year. At the same time, TikTok became a place for videos that made guesses. Clips picked into every little thing about the leaked photographs, like where Usman's hand was, how Cortney's clothes looked, and how the room they were in looked. "That looks like Legos," one TikTok user said, honing in on the style of the furniture behind them. "She must have been staying with him while they were filming." Another video put together old clips of Usman talking about wanting kids one day and added dramatic music to them. Some theories were silly, while others were really conspiratorial. Some fans said the pregnancy was the best plot twist in TLC history, while others said the pair had been hiding their love for a long time. There was one thing that was the same through it all: enthusiasm. This time, the fans weren't split by doubt or cynicism. They were all happy together. Behind the scenes, news organizations worked hard to keep up. Almost all entertainment sites, from celebrity blogs to major news outlets, covered stories about Cortney and Usman within 24 hours of the images emerging. Some news outlets played up the surprise factor by running headlines like "From reality TV to real life, Cortney and Soulja Boy expecting first child." Others framed it as a redemption arc, saying that both stars had been through heartbreak and public criticism, but had found happiness together. But the most telling news came from those who work in the industry and hinted to the upheaval going on inside TLC's headquarters. Multiple publications quote anonymous sources saying that producers were caught off guard by the news. One insider claimed they had planned to add the pregnancy reveal to the show's plot later. But once those pictures got out, the secret was out. Now they're rushing to find a way to re-edit the season so that this moment stands out. Another story said that TLC executives had already had emergency meetings to talk about the prospect of speeding up a spin-off that would only follow Cortney and Usman's path into fatherhood. They know this couple has caught lightning in a bottle, the source said. You don't waste that. If the leak is real, it may have forced TLC to act, but it may also have given them the best ratings gift of the year. While the media talked about logistics, Cortney and Usman mostly stayed quiet. Neither of them made any more comments after the first one. But being quiet didn't imply not doing anything. Several insiders said that the couple spent the day together away from cameras, choosing to celebrate discreetly instead of getting caught up in the excitement. A close acquaintance said that the couple was deeply happy, but a little overwhelmed. The insider said that Cortney had been concerned about telling people because she was afraid of how fans would react to the couple's unconventional pairing. On the other hand, Usman is said to have comforted her by saying that their love story will speak for itself. The companion said, he told her not to worry about the noise. He said, "This is our time. Show the world what's real." The acquaintance also implied that the disclosure wasn't a complete accident. Cortney wanted to be in charge of her own story. She thought it was time, even though it wasn't on the production schedule. If accurate, that decision may go down as one of the most daring things a TLC cast member has ever done, putting honesty ahead of network writing. Fans, on the other hand, have already gone from praising the pair to thinking about their future. There were a lot of threads on different platforms guessing what the baby's name will be. Some people joked that Usman would want to name the kid after one of his songs, while others thought Cortney would pick a name that was unique and inspired by travel. Fans who were more serious talked about the details. Would the baby be delivered in the US or Nigeria? Would Cortney move permanently? Or would the pair try to live on 2 continents? How would their diverse cultural backgrounds affect how they raised their kids? There were a lot of questions, but the tone stayed upbeat. Even others who had been harsh on Usman became more understanding. One fan remarked on Instagram, "I used to think he was only in it for the fame. But these pictures reflect a man who is really happy to be a dad. Look at how he holds her. That is true love." It was amazing how people's views changed. Usman, who used to be one of the franchise's most divisive figures, was being welcomed with open arms. People used to think Cortney was indecisive, but now they praised her for being brave enough to choose her own path. In just one day, they had reinvented their stories together. The effects kept going at TLC. There were more and more rumors that camera teams were already getting set to film the following parts of Cortney's pregnancy. Some followers even said they saw film crews outside places connected to the couple, but this was never confirmed. If a spin-off does happen, it may follow the example of other franchise couples who started out in a tumultuous way and then moved on to family-focused storylines. But Cortney and Usman's narrative seems different. Their marriage, which seemed unlikely at first, is now a new beginning for a franchise that has been criticized for being excessively dramatic. Producers are aware of it as well. The potential of showing fans not only conflict but growth, of chronicling how 2 unlikely stars form a family, offers a new type of hook. One insider said, "This could change how people think about the franchise. It's not only about getting a visa anymore. It's about love tales that change in ways you don't expect." When night fell on the day of the leak, social media feeds kept buzzing. Fans made collages of Cortney and Usman over the years, showing how their relationship grew from awkward first meets to viral dating videos to this happy moment. Worldwide, hashtags like #CourtneyandSojaBoy and #NewBeginnings were popular. In just 24 hours, what started as a bunch of pirated images had turned into a cultural event that combined entertainment, romance, and the excitement of new life. And while everyone waited for the couple to make their next step, it was evident that their narrative was no longer just another chapter in 90 Day Fiancé. It has become its own story, with millions of people watching it happen in real time. The enduring image from this chapter is simple but deep. Cortney smiling quietly with her hand on her stomach and Usman next to her, pleased and protective. This picture seems ageless in a business based on show. It is the promise of a fresh start. It reminds us that even the most unlikely love tales can last. And this is just the beginning of what could be the most interesting voyage yet. The first 24 hours after the pregnancy pictures came out were crazy enough. But the days that followed showed something deeper, a cultural moment that went beyond just one Instagram post. People were suddenly talking about Cortney Reardans and Usman Umar in terms of legacy, two names that used to be linked to reality TV scandals and short-lived romances. Fans didn't only want to celebrate the pregnancy. They wanted to be a part of the story, to own it, and to remember it as part of their memories of the 90-Day Fiancé series. The spill was loud and spectacular, but what came next was quieter and more steady, like the ripples that spread out from a stone thrown into a lake. Fan pages on Instagram started putting together pregnancy watch threads. Every little thing became proof, and every random message was a new clue. When Cortney posted a picture of a smoothie bowl with strawberries, followers crowded the comments with speculations about what she wanted to eat. When Usman released a brief video of himself at a recording studio, one person said, "He's definitely writing a lullaby for his baby." The rumors weren't always serious, but they showed that everyone wanted something. Fans didn't want to just watch, they wanted to be a part of it. They talked about timelines, speculated when the kid would be born, and came up with theories on what to name the baby. Some even said they had inside information, but none could back it up. TikTok creators jumped on the bandwagon and made montages of Cortney's pregnant glow set to sad music. The phrase "from TLC drama to TLC mama" spread quickly. It was a fun tagline that showed how surprised and happy the fans were. The internet wasn't sharpening blades this time. It was bringing people together around hope. TLC moved with careful precision behind the scenes. While executives stayed quiet in public, people who worked on the show shared rumors of frenzied meetings late at night. Reports say that editors had to go through hours of unused film looking for moments that could hint to what was to come. A producer told an insider, "We need anything with Cortney turning down a drink. Take out anything that has Usman talking about his dreams." The leak may have messed up their intended story, but it also gave them a chance. The question was no longer whether to put Cortney and Usman in the spotlight. It was how quickly they could change things to make them the stars of the season. There was even talk of a spin-off again. Another unidentified insider said that executives talked about whether or not to do a special series that would show Cortney's pregnant experience in real time. "They know that people care," the insider said. "If they don't act quickly, social media will tell the story without them." TLC had been in this situation before. Reality was happening too quickly for TV schedules. But this time, the stakes were bigger. The fans weren't just watching, they were demanding. Cortney and Usman, on the other hand, tried to get through the storm in privacy. Friends who were close to them said they were happy, but also a little worried. People said that Cortney was overwhelmed by all the support she got. For years, she had been unsure about her connections, how she was shown on TV, and whether her narrative mattered to anyone. Now, thousands of people were sending her letters. They didn't see her as a spectacle, but as a lady who was about to become a mother. She cried, one friend said. Happy tears. She couldn't believe how nice people were being. She remarked that for the first time in a long time, she felt like someone was looking at her. Usman, on the other hand, is said to have handled the storm with calm determination. He was known for being ambitious and caring about how he looked, so it startled even those closest to him when he took up the position of guardian. He told her not to read the bad things, the same friend said. He informed her that their kid and their future were all that mattered. He said, "This is now bigger than TV." If genuine, the statements are a big change for Usman, who critics often said he manipulated relationships to get famous. His reputation was changing now, not because of big statements, but because of little quiet actions. People who saw the pictures observed how he put his hand on Cortney's stomach. They saw how sweet his eyes were. Those details were more powerful than any press release. As time went on, news sources kept covering the incident, but the tone changed from breaking news to deeper thought. There were stories that looked at the unexpected path of Cortney and Usman's love. They are two people from different continents with very different pasts who are now getting ready to start a family. Headlines that used to make fun of the couple now praised them. Even news sites who don't usually cover TLC started to weigh in. The pregnancy was no longer just a reality TV show. It was a narrative of love, strength, and starting over. One piece in a big magazine said it best. In a time when scandals are what people remember about reality stars, Cortney and Usman remind us that happiness can be the real plot twist. For fans, the pregnancy was surprising, but it was also what it meant that made it so interesting. Cortney had always been seen as the dreamer, the person who wanted to connect with others, but couldn't find a means to do so. People thought Usman was the performer and the charmer, but they often doubted his honesty. They had revised each other's scripts together. Fans used to see them struggle with long-distance phone calls or deal with cultural differences. Now they were watching them step into a common story, the excitement of becoming a parent. It didn't matter anymore if their love was true. It was about how it would get bigger. As 1 week turned into 2, the excitement started to calm down and become more steady. The hashtags kept trending, but the mood changed from astonishment to excitement. Fans weren't just reacting, they were waiting for the next picture. I'm waiting for the next update. They were waiting for the time when Cortney and Usman would talk to them personally. And while they were waiting, something amazing had happened. The fandom, which had been divided and fighting, had come together. For a town used to instability, the pregnancy brought people together in a way that was rare. The picture that stays with me after the leak isn't loud or shocking. There isn't much noise. It's Cortney away from the cameras with her hands on her stomach. It's Usman leaning in close and saying things only she can hear. There is a quietness between them that shows they trust one another and believe in a future together. That's the story for fans now. Not just a picture that got out, not just a moment that went viral, but a love that keeps growing off the screen. And while the world waits for the next chapter, one thing is clear. This is no longer just a reality show. This is life itself, messy, surprising, and lovely. A love story that is continuously being written, one heartbeat at a time. This gossip is over. If you liked the video, then give your opinion in the comment box, and stay with us by subscribing the channel. Thank you.